living legacy, a project of CJ Studios. Archive your family's memories. www.storyofmysoul.com.
I was born and grew up in Berdychiv. It's not far from Kiev. And we had a big Jewish cemetery there. During the World War II, when Hitler came there, he destroyed the cemetery by breaking the monument. The only grave that they didn't touch was the grave of the Rabbi Levi Yitzcahk. Now, the grave of Levi Yitzcahk didn't have a monument. It was a big plot, and something very low to the earth was there. I don't know how to say it, but there wasn't a monument. And for some reason, the Germans didn't touch this plot. During the time when I was grown up as a child, and even once when I came to visit my mother to Berdychiv, around the grave of Levi Yitzcahk, they made a big hole around, so the people cannot approach the grave. So what my mother used to do, she used to take a big cane and go down the roof and up just to approach the grave. When I came to visit my mom, it was difficult to find a man in Berdychiv to say a special prayer at the grave. And I asked my mom, Mom, can you find somebody who can do it in Jewish? You know, like, suppose, like they said in Berdychiv to say Amule. My mom says, there is one man who can do it. And I say, I'm going to pay for a taxi, we're going to bring him to the cemetery. And that was a man. We came to the cemetery, we approached my father's grave because he died being very young. And then we go to the Levi Yitzcahk, and we all approach the grave. And I ask, his name was Isaac. And I say to him, Isaac, can you tell me if we can make the road to the grave? I want these elderly people to come to the grave without going down and up. He said, I can ask few shikirim, he said. I can ask few shikirim. They can do it. So how much money you need? And he gave me the amount of money, nothing, $200, whatever. I said to him, you know what, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to speak to rabbis, because I know when I go to the Jewish cemetery, you cannot stop on a grave. You have to go between. I come here to Phelon. I have a very big friend of mine who lived in Monsey. I called her up and I say, what do you think? Can I do it? Or I have to call a rabbi, because it's such a mishmash on this cemetery. Her name is Leah. She's a big friend of mine. She said, you have to wait. Let me find out a rabbi who can consult you. And she found a Berdychiv yeshiva in Monsey. I got the permission to call the rabbi. Rabbi gave me an appointment, and me and my husband, we went to see the rabbi from Berdychiv yeshiva. He said that I can't do those things, that somebody has to come to Berdychiv and see how to do it, because it's a cemetery where all the Jews are there. And he said, would I recommend somebody in Berdychiv that a Jew come, that they can meet and speak in Yiddish? I said, only my mother. My mother speaks in Yiddish, and she would connect you to the other person, because I don't have any coordinates from the other person. And guess what? They connected my mom, let her rest in peace. And one day somebody rings the bell, and a chassid is coming from Monsey. And I called my mother, and she said, I can't believe I see a Jew like that. I've never seen a Jew like that. They went together to the cemetery. My mother showed where the grave is. And with the help of the rabbi from Berdychiv yeshiva from Monsey, they built not only the road to the grave, they built a yeshiva by the grave of the Rabbi of Levi Yitzcahk.
The Living Legacy, a project of CJ Studios. Archive your family's memories. www.storyofmysoul.com